Hello and welcome to CJ's Short Reviews. I just saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and I really liked it. But it had some flaws. Overall, the movie is really good. You know, Doctor Strange is, a cool character as always. The movie takes place shortly after the last Spider-Man movie, and Doctor Strange has to deal with this person who has the ability to travel through different universes and try to help defend them from another character who I don't know if I should spoil in this review, but they're kind of. There's a character who becomes a villain, and anyone who's seen the movie will know who I'm talking about. Who I'm honestly really glad that they went in the direction of making her a villain. You know what? Fuck it. Spoiler alert. Wanda is the main villain of this movie, and I'm very glad that they went with making her the villain, because after seeing WandaVision, if I'm being honest, after seeing everything she did, like, you understand why she did all of it. Like, it all makes sense. She's still an interesting character, but she's not really she's kind of evil now. Like, she did some pretty bad shit, and it felt like the show was just gonna be like, oh, we're just gonna forget that she did all of this. And it's like, no, you've already shown us that she's, like, capable of this really fucked up shit. Let's just expand on that. Let's just go further. Just make her a villain, honestly. And this movie did that, and I'm happy about that. The movie was directed by Sam Raimi, who is, also pretty well known for directing the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. And I think this movie was directed really well. The shots are all really cool. The movie's cinematography just looks fantastic. Uh, Admittingly, a lot of what I would praise about this movie is just the way it looks, because it does just look so incredible. Like, there's a lot of cool visuals that you wouldn't see in pretty much any other Marvel movie. I mean, I guess the Doctor Strange ones are all kind of known for having some interesting and strange visuals, but this one really takes it up a notch. But I'll also say in some ways I kind of feel like it could have taken it up a few more notches, but it was still just like the whole movie was just like a visual treat. The story, on the other hand, I have more mixed feelings on. The story was overall good. Again, I'm glad that they just straight up made Wanda the villain, but there are a lot of complaints that people have had about this movie that I kind of agree with, which have to do with the fact that both Wanda and Strange's powers are so sort of vague and magical that it sort of feels like they can just do whatever is convenient for them in the plot at any given moment. And that can make the stakes feel a little more fake than they usually would. I mean, obviously, it's a movie, so, all the stakes are fake, but you want it to feel more real. And this movie, the way things work in this movie, especially when they bring the multiverse and there's all these different versions of characters in it, it's very hard to keep track of what is and isn't possible for these characters to do, because their powers are so vague and they're now connected to this greater multiverse, which makes everything even more chaotic. I'll also say that I think there are a lot of references in this movie that might be frustrating for some people. I watched WandaVision, and I really, really enjoyed WandaVision, so it didn't bother me in the movie, but a lot of a lot of the understanding of Wanda, the movie's main villain, really has to come from you having watched WandaVision. This movie very much expects you to have watched WandaVision, which is weird considering there's a lot of people who have not watched WandaVision who they should have expected would still go see this movie. I think this is something that's going to become a bigger problem in future Marvel movies, is they want to tie everything in together, which in a lot of ways is good, and they should do that, because for everyone who's been keeping up with everything, it's very rewarding for them to do that. But at the same time, it's also very alienating to people who haven't seen everything. And there's so much to see in Marvel at this point that in some ways it's kind of hard to expect someone to have seen everything. Heck, there's even a reference to Captain Carter, who is a character that appears in the Marvel What If series, which is a series that I did watch but did not like very much. I thought it kind of sucked overall for the most part. There are some episodes I thought were okay, but overall, Marvel's What If, not great. And that reference would go right over your head if you didn't watch it. Not that it's totally necessary for understanding this movie, but still, it does feel like people who haven't been keeping up with everything Marvel are going to be missing out on a lot of what this movie is trying to offer you. And I can understand how that might be frustrating for a lot of viewers. However, based on my own enjoyment, I would personally give this movie, at first I was thinking an 8, but after thinking everything over, maybe a lighter 7 out of 10. So, yeah, this movie is a 7 out of 10 overall. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!